with this is because these are the symptoms of the root cause problem, not the actual problem itself. The great news for you is today, when you uncover the 3 secrets to reinventing yourself, which I'm about to reveal in a second, you're about to uncover the actual root cause that tie all of your issues together. That way you can finally eradicate your self-destructive behaviors from the root level. How many of you are excited? You'll also be able to discover your true self again. Feel empowered again. Feel those springs in your step again. And lastly, you trigger a profound transformation today in your entire neurological makeup, causing you to act and think and behave in a way that's different to before. How many of you are excited? There's one thing you got to know right now. There are 3 powerful secrets to reinventing yourself that you must know to break free of your limits. And this is what I'm about to walk you through right now. Who is excited? If so, say yes in the chat box below. Over 12 years of in-depth research in the field of psychology and human behavior goes into this rapid 3 secrets method that you're about to uncover. Just before I share this with you, I want to have a guess. What do you believe I need from you to get the most from this class today? The word is up on the screen. If you're the first to guess, I will read out your name, okay? Who's going to be first? What do you believe I need from you? Charlotte says focus. Yes, you bet, Charlotte. Right? And Catherine says focus as well. I can see Malik saying focus. Yes. Now, why is it important for you to be focused right now? Well, let's just be real for a moment. How many of you agree in life? Sometimes we do so much for other people, but we don't do enough for ourselves. We show up to our workplace, we put in all those hours, we show up for our family, our friends. But when it comes to really showing up for ourselves, we say, I'm too busy. And we distract ourselves. Yes or no? How many of you agree to better look after others, you got to better look after yourself today? You deserve a better life. Isn't that true? Don't multitask right now. This is an appointment with yourself. And studies have shown if you multitask, it lowers your IQ, meaning you'll get less from this transformation journey. At the same time, the last point is possibly dangerous. Some research is showing if you multitask all the time, you'll damage your brain. In fact, high multitaskers have a less brain density in the anterior cingulate cortex, that's part of your mind, that's responsible for emotional control, by the way. So let's just make a deal. I'm going to end this meeting in a moment. I'm going to give you, however, my absolute best for the next 52 minutes before I end this. All I ask is you meet me halfway. That way you don't walk away with information, but you walk away transformation. Do we have a deal? If so, say deal in the chat box below. And if you're wondering, Tim, why do you have to speak so fast? It's because I'm trying to compress 12 years of research into a rapid 52-minute session for you, right? So what I'll do is at the end, here's what I'll do. I'll gift you the entire summary ebook of what we experienced today for free. Totally for free. Is that fair enough? At the same time, reserve your questions till the end because I'll take some questions and give you some free coaching as well. We can go deeper then. Is that pretty cool, by the way? So just say yes. Just before we get started though, is anyone here new to my work? If that's you, say yes. Can I just quickly introduce myself just before we get started with the 3 secrets to reinvent yourself? My name is Tim Ham, by the way. Great to meet. And people regard me in this industry as a well-renowned human behavior expert, having spent the last 12 years of my life within this field. I'm best known for my creation of the LMA course, which is now regarded as one of the highest rated transformational courses out there. Also, I'm the founder of Success Insider, which became the viral sensation back in 2016. This has allowed us to actually collaborate with the likes of Patrick Bet-David, Dr. John D. Martini, to name a few, and other renowned psychologists and doctors around the world. But the final point is the most important point. We've been to positively impact the lives of over 40 million people as a result of the work here at Success Insider. And the reason why I share this with you is not to impress you, but to express to you that you too also can go through this profound change in your life. In fact, just before we get started with the 3 secrets to reinvent yourself, can I share with you unexpected news and events I experienced in my life that led me to where I am today, in hopes it inspires you to reinvent yourself right now? Would that be pretty cool? If so, just say yes. I'm originally born in Seoul, South Korea. And one of my youngest childhood memories was waking up feeling terrified because I heard a loud scream of help that came from my mum. I hear glass being smashed. I hear furniture being knocked over. Then I hear these loud stomp, stomp, stomp. More screams. And it fades down. Then I hear the door slam shut. That was the final time I ever heard from my real dad in my life, who had just left my mum broken and bruised. Over the upcoming days, I approached Mum and I said to Mum, what can I do to best support you? And she said to me, my son, please promise me one day you'll study hard, you get a good job, and that way you can support us. I said, I promise. But little did I know, we had more bad news coming our way. Because it was shortly after this, for our own safety, Mum decided to relocate us from Seoul, South Korea, to a very small town in England. Starting day one school, I felt like an absolute alien, like an outsider, like I didn't belong. And we can relate. To make things worse, I came across these bullies called a racist, who had never ever seen an Asian-looking guy in flesh before. I became the perfect victim for them because I was struggling with mental health issues, procrastination, self-esteem. I didn't believe in myself. They certainly told me that, and they saw me as a perfect person to pick on. And this is when things began to take a turn for the worse. I was walking home after late night revision session at school. I was walking down this dark alleyway. All of a sudden, I hear somebody shouting my name with force behind me. I turn around, and my heart fills with fear. These were the racist, violent bullies that were always picking on me at school, and now there was a lot of them. And some of them looked like they were carrying something in their hand. All of a sudden, they start chasing after me, and I'm literally running for my life at this point. I'm sprinting, trying to get away. And all of a sudden, I run out of breath, and I stop, and next thing I feel is somebody's fist hitting me like a sledgehammer, and my skull hits the concrete floor, and I was knocked unconscious. As soon as I woke up, I got myself off the ground and I just ran for my life, and I got myself home. And as soon as I got home, I locked myself in the bathroom, looked at my blood face in the mirror. Blood was coming out of my mouth, dust and dirt was all over my face. I looked like a mess, and I just couldn't understand why. Because of the size of my eyes, the color of my skin, I keep on experiencing this. Being told that I don't deserve to be there. Being told that I need to go back to where I'm from. Being told that I need to kill myself. And when you're told that shit every single day of your life, you begin to believe it. Maybe it's true. This is when my life took a turn for the worse. I lost myself. When I was starting high school, the only form of escape was to do what these toxic people were doing. I became very toxic. I hung around with these people who were taking drugs every single day. I lost myself. Every day I was just involved with everything they're doing. And high school breezed on by. I absolutely failed education. The only job that would accept me after education was this toilet cleaning job. And every single day, I just couldn't confront my reality. Why me? Why is this happening to me? What did I do to deserve this? And I would, before work, always just be under a shower, just looking down, just refusing to take on the world. It was one of these mornings in a state of desperation. I had enough. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. This is when I began to look online for help for the first time in my life. And this is when I came across this world of self-mastery. And I began to learn for the first time ever, you can actually change your life. Regardless of your circumstance, the change happens internally, not externally. I began to religiously study all of these courses, training to do a self-mastery. And before you know it, I, for the first time ever, began to overcome my limits and finally begin to believe that maybe I'm worthy of not just living, but just really, really living. And I had enough confidence to start my own business. It was within the music event sector. It just felt unreal just seeing my life getting better because I was getting better internally. And from this new hope I had, I decided to take on advice from Warren Buffett, who said the best investment is self-investment. I decided to take the profit I was earning in my business, learning more about me, learning what does it take for me to finally eradicate self-doubt, eradicate the traumas from the past, eradicate the procrastination, the self-sabotage, eradicate the self-hatred, and believe that maybe I'm deserving of a better life. That's what I began to do. I began to just travel to different countries, sign up to every online seminar, and just study. And it's almost like the universe knew when I was ready, because around this time I came across somebody who was wanting help with launching his health supplement company. Because I was ready, I said yes to that opportunity, and we worked day and night to launch his company. And by the end of that year, we ended up generating over $1.9 million in revenue. And it was just like unreal. I'm pinching myself every day, just seeing my life changing. Finally, because I was changing, reinventing myself. And it was around this time, my friends from my past was asking me, what did I do to reinvent myself and change myself? And I thought, instead of me just messaging people, why didn't I create a video that outlines some of the things I did? Little did I know, that video I uploaded onto a YouTube channel called Success Insider would end up going viral. And by the end of that year, we ended up reaching the lives of over 40 million people worldwide. And people began to experience these shifts and changes that I experienced in my life. And at one of these seminars, one of the Ghanaian women stood up and said, your message needs to be heard. She flew me out business class to meet the president of a country. And we began to discuss how can we change even the traditional education system. So our children out there in the third world country believe in themselves. And it was unreal because around this time, people I was looking up to online wanting to collaborate with me. But I tell you, this moment meant the most to me. I was sat on the plane and sat next to me was my mum. Was heading home back to Seoul, South Korea on holiday. First time since moving to the UK. That's in 19 years. At this point, I'd retired my own mum. And she was looking out the plane window with this grin on her face. And she looked back into the cabin and looked at me in the eyes. And she said to me, my son, I know it was hard. I just want to say thank you. You've done it for me. You've done it for me. And what I'm trying to say to you is today, provided you commit to these 3 secrets to reinventing yourself, you can do it for you. How many are excited? We're about to uncover the 12 years of research that has gone into these rapid 3 secrets to reinventing you. That's going to allow you to finally break free in a way that's easier and faster. Now, just before we get started, by the way, I want to have a guess. What do you believe is the most dangerous sentence you can ever say if you want to change your life, by the way? The answer, let me give it to you right now, is I already know that. Write this down. Write this down. I already know that. Why do you believe this is a very dangerous sentence? Let me know in the chat. I'll read out what you say. Well, when you agree, if you're saying I already know this, is that opening your mind or closing your mind? Definitely closes, right? Charlene says close. Yeah, you bet. How many have agreed to change your life? You've got to have an open mind. You know, here's how I'm going to take you through the journey. The first secret is going to seem basic to some of you, but that is preparing you for the deeper end of the swimming pool, which is secret 3. Making sense? I'm going to take you through this journey like learning to swim for the first time. Secret 1 is dipping your toes in the water. Secret 3 is about jumping in the pool, going deep. But we're going to start with the basics first. If that's pretty cool, just say yes. So I want to comment open mind, because that's the only way you're going to allow this to really sink in. And with that said, let's get started with secret number 1, which is awareness. For you to finally overcome self-sabotage, as well as your procrastination and even the emotional traumas, you have to become aware of what the root cause behind your issue is. Because do you ever feel like you're in a car with one foot on the accelerator and one foot on the brake at the same time? Can you relate? As in, you want to go for it, but you're hesitating. You're trying to love yourself, but you're hating yourself. You're trying to change your wealth, but you're struggling financially. How many of you can relate to this? And this is something I experienced all throughout my life, by the way. You know, when I was doing really well, I would mess it up. And when I mess it up really bad, then I'll pick it back up. Why most of us get stuck reliving every single day, kind of like a hamster on a wheel, is because most of us only focus on what we want versus what creates what we actually want. Are you getting it? Let me ask you, what actually creates the results you see in your life? It's the actions you've taken or not taken. True, by the way. So what drives a human being to take action? We know that it's the feelings you're having. The emotions lead to motion. True. So what creates emotions in your human body? We know in the human psychology is thinking, the thoughts. What generates thoughts? At the core is the belief. So at the core of everything your results you see in your life is
I
an
think
underlying
definitely,
set
yeah.
of beliefs. If you're following so far, say yes. So how many of you agree? This means no matter how hard you try, you will struggle if you do not actually eradicate the underlying issue. Let's say you want to make more money in your life, but you believe you're a procrastinator. You're going to struggle. True or true? Let's say you want to cultivate amazing relationships, but you got trust issues due to your traumas from the past. You're going to struggle. Let's say how many of you want supreme health? But let's say you're lazy or believe you're lazy, you're going to struggle. How many of you just want to feel more happy and less depressed? But let's say you're saying to yourself, I've tried everything, Tim, and nothing works for me. I'm broken. How many of you agree? You're going to struggle. True, true. So to create a radical shift in your life, stop focusing on what you want. Instead, focus on becoming aware of the BS, which obviously stands for belief system, right? That is controlling your life, and eliminate the BS that is actually holding you back. Instead of us talking about this, how would you love help from me right now to actually go through this transformation? If you're ready, just say yes. You see, the moment we're born, listen up. The moment we're born, we begin to create this BS, the belief system, of how the world works to better our chances of survival in the future. Following so far? So our belief system, the BS, is simply an old filing cabinet filled with different documents from the past. So your brain is a filing cabinet. The documents you put into this filing cabinet, we call a belief in human psychology. If that makes sense, say yes. So when you're born, who gives you the first set of documents to file? Your family does. I mean, you've agreed, generations upon generations of beliefs to do with money, relationships, and health, including the traumas, are passed directly onto you. And because you're a child, you do not question them. And as we go to school, we meet friends, and friends begin to share a lot of beliefs that they've heard from their caretakers and family members as well. We take on their beliefs, true or true. And then we get conditioned by a culture. We get conditioned by culture. How many of you ever really thought about this word called culture that we've all been brainwashed by? In fact, if you look at the dictionary definition of this word culture, that's all impacted us, depending which country you're from. It's fascinating. This is a literal definition. Shared patterns of behaviors and interaction, cognitive constructs and understanding that are learned by socialization. Thus, it can be seen as a growth of a group identity fostered by the social patterns unique to a group. To put simply, we're all in a cult. And any of you who've ever been traveling, you act very differently and think differently. Yes or no, by the way? This isn't woo-woo talk. This is proven by psychologists all around the world. In terms of environments, in terms of culture, how that impacts you and your behavior. You see, epigenetics says how environment actually dramatically influences expressions of your very genetics and even how you look appearance-wise. Fascinating, right? Look at stereotype threat. This phenomenon was coined by leading scientists who explained that when people believe they're part of a social group that doesn't succeed in a certain area, we match that so that way we get the same results as our friends and family. Crazy, right? Now, on top of this, we get conditioned by one of the heaviest conditioning. Can anyone guess what this is in terms of belief? It's the events you went through. You know those failures you've gone through? You know those traumas you've gone through? You know those unfortunate things you wouldn't even wish upon your worst enemies you've gone through? You know those setbacks? How many of you agree? It's had an impact on what you believe to be true today. Imagine this young child is called Jack. And just like any young child that you once were, he feels limitless right now because he hasn't experienced life yet. I mean, remember there was a point in your childhood where you felt a little bit more free. Well, Jack is dreaming. Did you know no child is ever born lacking clarity? That means if you ever lack clarity, that's a limiting belief. You see, Jack knows exactly what he wants. He wants to build his own cars one day. That's his purpose. That's his gift. He finds himself in a toy store wanting inspiration. He picks up a box of toys, right? He's thinking that's going to be my dream one day. Unfortunately, his dad misreads this behavior and thinks his son, Jack, is about to run away with a box of toys. So he grabs his son, Jack, and says, "No! Don't go for what you want. You're a bad boy." This seems like a small event. But Jack has just filed a belief of what it means to pursue his goals. So he grows up as an adult wondering, why do I always procrastinate? He grows up wondering, why do I not know what I want? He grows up wondering, why can I not really go for it? Your belief system is your life's manual today of how you should think, act, and behave in different situations. This means your behavior, for the most part, is based purely on the things you've experienced in the past. How many of you procrastinate a lot right now? We are actually peeling back the layers of the onion to what causes your procrastination. Self-sabotage, anxiety, stresses. How many want me to go deeper right now? Your beliefs set you up to experience the exact thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that makes your beliefs become a reality. So what does this really mean? The current state of your wealth, health, and relationship with life is in absolute alignment and direct proportion to what you believe is true consciously and subconsciously. I want you to write this down. Results are never an accident. So if you are not yet where you love to be, there's a really great chance that you're gripping too tightly onto unconscious limiting beliefs that aren't serving you. Up on the screen, these are some of the most popular limiting beliefs that we hold as human beings. If you can relate to any of them, just write them down. Also, feel free to let me know in the chat box below. How many of you ever said, I'm not good enough? How many of you ever said, I'm a procrastinator? I'm going to end up alone. I don't know what I want. People can't be trusted. How many of you unfortunately got the belief, I'm too old? It's too late for me to. I'm too afraid, Tim. I feel very behind. These are all very popular limiting beliefs. You probably want to write it down. Because here's the fact. When you do not resolve these beliefs that's in your mind, and you continuously repeat it every single day, it creates what's called an identity. And your problem then gets very real. Because one of the strongest forces in human psychology is the need to remain congruent with who you currently see yourself as. How many of you are getting this, by the way? In fact, the word identity was originally derived from the Latin word sensitus, which means being, and identity, which means repetitively. So all your identity is just repeated beingness. So let me ask you, if every day you're perceiving your reality with the same beliefs, and you're reacting to the same circumstance in your life as you normally do, then the results in your life aren't changing because you're not changing when you agree. Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. So then if you're waking up in the morning, running through the same routines, thoughts, choices, behaviors, and experiences that produce the same result, and you keep doing that over and over again, it's going to become a very subconscious habit for you. Therefore, eventually, your entire identity will be programmed into a very predictable future based upon what you've experienced in the past. And this is why, in spite of your best attempt to think big, set bigger goals, you keep on delaying and procrastinating. This is why you keep on doubting yourself, because your psychology is designed to repeat what you've always done. How many of you are following so far? So let's just quickly distill this. If all of these beliefs in your mind that you hold as a truth right now is not actually yours to begin with, because you've been shared it throughout your life. So these beliefs are not yours, yes or no? This also means your identity is not yours. It also means who you currently see yourself as. It's not actually you. It's who you've learned to be. How many of you just woke up? And the version of you you've learned to be today is at the root of why you are self-sabotaging yourself. Is at the root of why it feels like you want to take that step forwards, but you keep on backing out. Is at the root of why it feels like you're in a car with one foot on the accelerator and one foot on the brake. Because let me ask you this, if all throughout your life people have told you you're just an apple tree, but pears represent financial success, also relationship success, health success, how many of you agree? If you believe in an apple tree, you're going to struggle to attract pears. You're going to procrastinate. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to hate yourself. Say you're not good enough. True, by the way. Because who you currently believe you are is how you act, and how you get to act is what you get in your life. Following so far? So if every day you're viewing yourself in the same way, thinking the same way, feeling the same way, and acting the same way, and you're expecting things to change, how many of you agree, it now makes sense to you why most people fail to change their life. So to create a radical shift in your life, stop focusing so much on what you want. Focus today, focus right now with me on the BS, the belief system that's controlling you, that's led you to where you are today. Because your BS has created this reality called your life. Which means how many of you want to create a new life? How many of you want to create a new reality? You've got to learn how to not only become aware of this limiting BS, but learn to let go. That way you can finally go, and finally be able to make it happen. Who is excited for this? If so, say yes. So I want to give you a choice right now. You can either go at it alone and try to figure all of this out by yourself, which would take you a lot of time, or I can offer you further help right now and we can go through this journey together right now. If you'd like some further help from me, just say yes right now. And did we enjoy Secret 1, which was the baby warm-up? We got the most important part, which is Secret 3, which is the one you do not want to miss coming up. Are we enjoying this? Yes. Who is now ready to go deeper? Secret 2, write this down, is called Transform. With the limited time we got left together before I got to get going, would you love some help from me to transform one of the biggest limiting beliefs we hold as human beings? Would that be pretty helpful, by the way? Let me ask you this. Do you really think somebody who earns 1,000 times more than you is 1,000 times smarter than you? No, they're not, by the way. How about working 1,000 times more hours than you? Physically not possible. True. So what are they doing differently? Let me know in the chat. The answer is they have got beliefs that work 1,000 times better to earn more money than what you currently have. So understand this, write this down. A lack of money is never ever a problem. A lack of money is merely a symptom of what's going on underneath. And if you're thinking, but Tim, I've got all the money in the world, understand that we're talking something beyond money right now. Because as the great saying goes, some people are so poor, all they have is money. I mean, know what I'm talking about. Some people have got so much money, but they don't have happiness, fulfillment. I'm talking something deeper right now. Yes? So what's important is you understand what the real problem is right now. The real problem to a lack of money or lack of happiness, fulfillment, is your conscious and subconscious beliefs. And it's driving your behavior. And your behavior is driving your results. So what happens if you try to change your results without changing your beliefs? Can anyone guess? It begins with the word S. Self-sabotage. Who's ever heard of these? It's crazy how often this happens. Lottery winners who go from broke to rich back to broke. It happens so often. And the reason why is they never change their beliefs. This is a real life story of Jack Whittaker. He won $350 million, by the way. Since winning, his mum, granddaughter's boyfriend died due to drug overdoses. Within 4 years, he was back to being broke, being sued for millions of dollars. And when the reporter asked Jack what happened, who do you think he blamed? Himself, or did he blame money, saying it's evil? Blame money. It turns out that Jack believed he didn't deserve it in the first place. Did it become a self-fulfilling prophecy? Yes. So if you've been wondering, why do you procrastinate so much? Why do you doubt yourself? Why do you sometimes self-sabotage? Is at the core. This is the core. Let's say you believe right now times are tough. How many of you heard this limiting belief with your friends or family recently? Times are tough. Let's say you're telling yourself that right now. How many of you agree the thinking will be kind of like safe? I got to play it safe. I got to be careful. And if you're telling yourself, I got to be careful every day, wouldn't you be pretty afraid? And if you're afraid, would that cause procrastination? If every day you procrastinate, does that make your times look tough? Yes. And if you are seeing lack in your life, does that further aggravate and strengthen your limiting belief? Times must be tough. I've got to play it safe. I've got to be scared all the time. I've got to procrastinate every day, and I'm going to be struggling every day. I'm even getting this, by the way. So if you look at your life, that tells you what you're believing right now. Now, where did you see lack? That shows you where your limiting beliefs are. I want you to write this down. Any lack that you see is your limiting belief that is expressed. Right now. That's showing you where your blocks are right now. So then that means if you're caught up in the emotions, the problems affecting in your life, and you're trying to change your life using the very emotion, the byproduct of the problems that you currently have, then it makes sense why you'll forever feel stuck, right? Yes or no? But when you agree, if you learn today how to change your beliefs, thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, in spite of all the things going on in your life, that's when true change will occur in your life, when you agree. In fact, this is a real life story to illustrate this point. There's a story of a struggling businessman in the middle of recession who was sunken in debt and could see no way out. Do you think he was plagued with fear? Yeah, because creditors were closing in on him. Suppliers were demanding urgent payment. He sat on the park bench not knowing what to do. He felt terrified. He didn't know what to do. Suddenly an old man appeared before him and said, "I see that something's worrying you. I believe I can help you." And imagine this, get this. He asked the man's name, wrote out a check and pushed it into his hand saying, "Take this money. Meet me here exactly 1 year from today and you can pay me back then." Get this. Then he turned and disappeared as quickly as he had come. The businessman saw in his hand a check for $100,000 signed by Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in the world at that time. In that moment, he was thinking, I can erase my money problem in an instant. But instead, the businessman decided to put the uncashed check in his safe. Just knowing it was there might give him the strength to work out a way to save his business, he thought. So imagine this. With revived hope, he negotiated better deals and closed several big deals due to the fact that he was showing up with a positive, abundant spirit. And within a few months, he was out of debt, making money once again. Exactly after 1 year, the businessman returned to the park with an uncashed check of $100,000. And at the same time, the old man appeared there. But just as the businessman was about to hand back the check and share a success story, a nurse came up and running up and grabbed the old man. "I'm so glad I caught him," she cried. "He's always escaping from the restaurant and telling people it's Andrew Carnegie." Did you get it? The astonished businessman stood there stunned. All year long, he'd been wheeling and dealing, buying and selling, convinced he had $100,000 behind him. Suddenly, he realized it wasn't money that changed his life. What changed his life, by the way? It was this newfound belief in unlimited abundance that gave him the power to achieve anything he went after. Who needed to hear that, by the way? How many of you agree when you're becoming this person of abundance, you cannot keep the abundance from moving through your life because you are abundance? How many of you notice how true this really is? Have you ever had an incredible waiter or waitress serving you in an abundant manner? How many of you agree because they're representing abundance, you gave them abundance in terms of a tip? True, by the way. Right? The truly abundant person is what psychologists nowadays even call a fully functioning person. So understand that what is holding you back and sometimes causing self-sabotage for you is a scarcity mindset. How many of you are getting this? A scarcity mindset is cultivated in a home whereby there was never enough money. How many of you kind of grew up in a similar way like me? Didn't witness healthy relationships growing up, especially with money. So who would love help from me right now to make this shift from scarcity to abundance? This is so rapid, by the way. Are you ready to take plenty of notes really quick? So you know when you're operating from scarcity, when you do not trust others. Why is that a scarcity mindset? Warren Buffett, billionaire investor, said this best. Success is all about relationships. Take care of your relationships and success will take care of itself. Abundant people, they trust others. How many of you, as me revealing this to you, you're thinking, I struggle with trust issues. How many of you can relate to that? I used to as well. Now, the second sign you're operating from a scarcity mindset is you always say words such as, I can't do it, I can't afford it, I don't have the time. Who's ever used these can't words before? Whereas the abundant people say, how can I find the money? How can I find the time? I'm going to write below, how can I find the time? Versus I don't have the time. Just notice how you feel differently. How many of you noticed that, by the way? And most importantly, scarcity mindset people always hold on. Whereas abundant mindset people always let go. I want to comment, let go. Get comfortable with letting go. Ask me why. This is important for you because money is like blood. When you hold on to it, it causes clogging. It's dangerous. In order to grow, it's got to flow. Otherwise, like clotted blood, it can only cause more damage. So get rid of the word spend altogether because spending money The spelling of the spend money is scarcity rooted. It implies it's being used up. Now try this word. The word circulate is more of an accurate representation of what's really happening when you're letting go of money. Because how many agree, if you're letting go of money, it's not gone forever, right? You circulate to the waitress or waiter, they're going to circulate to the grocery store. You're keeping the whole dance around the world going. So anytime you have to circulate, for example, with the bills, don't resent it like I used to in the past, because it only further aggravates scarcity. Circulate, let go. Who needs to hear this, by the way? This will help you to overcome some of the self-sabotage. Who wants me to go even deeper right now? Because we haven't even scratched the surface. Who want me to go really deep? Secret 3 is the deepest end of the pool. But for now, this is what one of my wise teachers in the past said to me. It was a tough tasting medicine. He said, Tim, you will remain poor if you do this. Poor people pass over opportunities repetitively. He looked at me in the eyes and said, Tim, don't be poor. And I said to him, what do you mean? He said, Tim, it just takes one opportunity for you to change your life. And I said, what do you mean? He said, Tim, look back on your life. Your life changed from one opportunity at the right time. How many of you agree it's kind of true? Now, why we don't spot opportunities to save ourselves, to change ourselves, is the way opportunities are presented to us is not in a sexy way. Would you like to know how opportunities are normally presented? It's with this word called selling. How many of you immediately had this instinctive reaction to this? It's like, oh, this is sleazy, this word called selling. You know, the thing is, because we've been conditioned by our culture, most of us hate this word called selling. Yes, I know, by the way. It once again comes down to the ingrained limiting belief that eventually results in self-sabotage. I'll explain why in a moment. But just think about why we think selling is sleazy. How many of you agree, growing up, what did CNN, constant negative news, always tell you in terms of what selling is? Did they say it was good or bad? Did they say it was smooth or sleazy? They always said it was sleazy. They always said it was bad. Yes or no, by the way? The block happens when you don't realize you're selling every single day. Think about this. How many of you ever been to a restaurant before and you're tasting that broccoli, right, in a restaurant, and you're like mid-mouth-gasm? You're like, oh, I gotta share this with my friend John, right? This is amazing broccoli. So you start texting your friend John. You're like, John, you gotta taste this broccoli, man. Right? What you doing in that moment? You are selling. How many of you agree, by the way? How many of you ever been on a date before? Think about what a dating scenario is. It's a one big sales pitch. What are you normally doing before a date? You're looking in the mirror and looking at yourself to ensure the product looks great, if you know what I'm saying. You ensure the product smells amazing. You begin to splash on the most amount of perfume you've ever freaking done. You're freaking swimming in perfume now, right? And you rock up to that date with your best sales pitch for yourself forwards. You say something on the lines of, this is what I said. If you get with me whilst you're looking at them in the eyes, I'll cook you a tasty bowl of spaghetti bolognese. Wink, wink. Yeah, this doesn't work as a pickup line, by the way. I failed. All right, some of you, though, are amazing at selling yourself in a date. How many of you agree, by the way? Right? Whereas some of us need some work, and obviously it's me right now, right? But how many of you know what I'm talking about? Now, parents tuned in. Kids. Let's talk about kids. Kids are the best salespeople on planet Earth. True, true. Right? If little Patrick wants the candy, is Patrick going to sell to you? Yes, right? You bet. So think about this in terms of now product, in terms of service context. If a salesperson ends up giving you a product and it helps you, has that salesperson done your service? Has that person helped you? Yes, they have. And by the way, hearing this, like you're hearing it right now, this was when my limiting belief was freed. My mentor said, Tim, that's what selling is. Selling is serving. And he said, Tim, if you're not open to somebody trying to sell to you, you're closed to somebody trying to help you. How many of you, as you're hearing this, you're like having light bulb moments, but at the same time resistance, since our mind doesn't like to pick up new beliefs. It's very fixed in nature. Imagine when I heard this, I was thinking, oh no, I can't possibly believe this. I've got trust issues and so forth, right? But I thought, what if I was to believe this? What changes what I see? First time ever, I decided, you know what, let me become more open instead of so skeptical all the time. That year, I set a crazy goal, which was to become an international speaker. I was socially anxious at the time. It was an impossible goal. A couple months passed on by, nothing happened, and I was thinking, I thought so. I'm not going to accomplish this goal. I can't speak. But get this, one of the afternoons I come across an advert. It's for a free event happening in London. I don't normally respond back to ads because I always think they're a scam. But I was thinking, this ad sounds pretty good. Let me attend this event. It's mindset. So I'm attending this free mindset event, and I'm like, this is actually good content. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. Now get this though, halfway through this content, the speaker on the stage begins to sell his advanced mindset mastery course. And do you know what begins to happen in that moment? Do you think most people stood up and left? Yes. Most people wouldn't even listen. They just ran away, even though they had like notepads full of valuable notes. And I was thinking, that would have been me back in the past. How many of you, you're kind of like me? I thought for the first time ever, let me sit down and just listen to the sales pitch, right? Maybe it might help me. It didn't make sense for me to be ignorant. So I listened to the whole thing. And at the end, I had this weird gut feel that maybe this is for me. Have you ever had moments when your mind is saying, I can't afford it, but your heart is saying, just freaking go for it. How can I afford it? How can I make it happen? I took this leap of faith. I followed my heart and took action. So get this, I'm attending this very expensive mindset mastery course. And during break time, I meet this guy on the front row you can see. He's from Philippines. His name's Kiefer. And I get talking to him and he says, Tim, what are you doing nowadays? And I say, I'm looking for some guests for Success Inside the Show. And he says, oh, I'll recommend my mentor. He's a speaking guy. He's a great person. So I get connecting. And a couple of weeks later, I'm interviewing his mentor. At the end of the interview, the mentor looks at me and says, Tim, what's your goal for end of this year? And I say to him with nervousness, my goal is to become an international speaker. And he said, Tim, this sounds really far-fetched. You're really nervous. You're a little bit awkward. But I see potential in you. I'm going to actually put you through my speaking course that is thousands of dollars completely for free. And I'm going to hook you up. One of the organizers out in Asia is looking for a speaker. I will get you onto those Asian stages. And by the end of that year, I was traveling around the world. This might not sound like a big deal to some of you, but I'm a nervous wreck. I used to hate myself speaking out loud. Silence all throughout my life. And one of the events, somebody said, you should meet the president of my country. And I'm flown out to meet the president of a country. I'm even agree. You know, this is when I began to realize when opportunities knock on your door, be willing to take a chance. Because I've spent so long in my life just being a skeptic. And I realized I got to try something and not just delay. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Let me ask you this. What opportunities have you said no to in the past because of a circumstance? Because more dreams are killed and goals lost because of circumstance than any other factor on planet Earth. How often have you ever caught yourself saying to yourself, I would love to do this, but I can't because. Whatever follows because is the circumstance. Are you getting it? Maybe some of you is like, because I didn't have the money. Maybe some of you is like, I can't because I don't have the time. More dreams are killed because of circumstance than any other factor. Take charge of your life. Take charge of your mind. Because here's the thing, do not wait. When you delay, it carries a huge weight on you. There's a cost to inaction. I mean, agree, you got limited time on planet Earth today. Every moment you are not all in, you are wasting your life. I mean, again, the longer you live this safe life, the more of a wastage you're contributing towards your life. So are you getting this? If so, say yes. And do you want me to go deeper so you can finally wake up and finally be able to take control of your life? If so, just say yes right now. With that said, that was secret 2. Who enjoyed that and who wants me to go to the real stuff now, which is the final secret? And by the way, in a moment, I'm going to gift you the summary ebook from today's entire masterclass. That way you got that transformative information. At the same time, I'll take some of your questions so we can deep dive right away for free. Is that pretty cool? And with that said, let's go on to the final secret. Listen very carefully here, because this is the most important secret. You do not want to lose out on this. The final secret, write this down, is to reprogram. In order for you to finally reprogram your mind, your body, to a new way of being, thinking, acting, to blast through self-sabotage, you've got to listen very carefully. Did you know on May 6, 1954, Roger Bannister became the first person to run a sub 4-minute mile? You know, before then, even experts said it was impossible. Experts said you can't do it. But the moment Roger did it, all of a sudden, very next month, John Landy does it straight away, no problem. And you know what's crazy today, in this present moment? There's over 900 plus people who have ran a sub-4 minute mile, including a 40 plus year old. How many of you agree in life, we don't do what we can. We live what we believe we are. Yes or no? So when you agree, we're going to wake up today to what is the programming that's equaling these self-sabotaging behaviors. Let me ask you this. What is your brain actually designed to do? If you've ever spoken to a neuroscientist before, you'll know the answers to this. Is it designed to make you happy? Is it designed to make you successful? No, it's got a primary function, which is survival. Write that down. This means your mind's primary job is protection, not action. Hence why procrastination is ever so common in everybody's lives. Following so far, by the way. This is also why we've all got the little voice in our mind. And if you're thinking, Tim, what little voice? That little voice. So your life isn't just your own. You're sharing it right now with that little voice of yours. You hear this little voice as the endless flow and flux of your thoughts. Can I really do this? What if I fail again? Why am I so broken? Why do I feel so down? You've heard these thoughts before, right? Why is this happening to me? Because the little voice speaks to you as a voice of your own mind. You've mistakenly come to believe that it is you. Your little voice, understand, is literally a narration. It's simply a defense mechanism from your survival brain that's designed to prevent change. But most of us have devoted our entire life to meeting its constant demand, as we mistakenly think it's protected us from pain, not realizing that your little voice is the source of your pain. It's the root of your pain. And ultimately, at the end of it all, it is the source of your biggest life's regrets. Let me remind you, your best thinking has got you to where you are today. Have you ever thought about how true that really is? That thinking in your mind has resulted in your life. So if you continuously listen to these same thoughts, you'll continuously create the same life. I want you to think about this. What has your little voice costed you so far in your life? What have you done or not done because of this voice of yours? You know, the afraid voice that sometimes tells you you're not good enough. What opportunities have you missed out on because of this little voice? What do you dream of doing but have never tried? Because deep down, this little voice is just afraid. We're seeing our life taken on by. Every year, we're reminded that life is fleeting. We're reminded that time is finite. It should be obvious to you, no one keeps you in this prison other than you. It is your choice whether or not you want to break free right now. But you know what's crazy? The moment you actually begin to do something that can help you, you can hear that little voice judging and feeling skeptical again. Can I really trust this? Does this really work for me? How many know what I'm talking about? You know, it will literally say or do anything right now in order to prevent change again. You know what's crazy? That part of you that's judging you and coming up with all these statements is the same part of you that's kept you back for all these years. Are you ready to wake up? Don't be like this squealing dog. One day this worried neighbor comes out and sees his neighbor's dog out in the street squealing in pain. He goes up to the dog, and next to the dog is his owner. It says to the owner, "What's happened with your dog? Why is your dog in so much pain?" The owner says with a straight face, "My dog is sat on the nail." He's like, "What? Why doesn't he get off the nail and be free today?" The owner says, "Because it doesn't hurt enough yet. He'd rather continue sitting on this nail until one day it hurts enough." Don't be that person. Most people get to the end of their life, and only then they realize they haven't lived. Don't be that person. It's either one day, or today can be day one for you. I'm not sure about you, but there are no accidents. There's a reason why you're hearing this message right now from me. I'm even getting this. You know this message is for you, because because it doesn't resonate with everybody. So can I help you to wake up and make today day one? If that's pretty cool, say day one in the chat box below right now. Say day one in the chat box below if you're ready to change right now, because I can help you to wake up, to generate some awareness. Because how many agree, on an average day, if you add up all the time you're wasting, feeling stressed, anxious, feeling fearful, overwhelmed, procrastinating, worrying about something, criticizing yourself, feeling like you're not good enough, in some form of indecision, judging the way you look, in some form of financial insecurity, being controlled by your little voice, how many of you agree it would amount to so many hours you're losing? Yes or no? Did you know studies today are showing an average person today is losing around 3 hours per day due to procrastination and self-sabotage and other mental health related issues as well? That's almost 2 months of your life. Every single year you're losing due to this limiting belief, due to this self-sabotaging behaviors. If you're worth $50 an hour in your career right now, your limiting beliefs, your blocks is literally costing you $54,750. Over a span of the next decade, it's gonna cost you over $500,000. Are you awake, by the way? This is your time to finally take control. So how would you like to know how I finally was able to commit to life mastery, break free of these limiting beliefs in my life? I heard something that's really uncomfortable. I hate saying this, but I want to share this with you because it woke me up. It was from a teacher, a very wise teacher. Can I share this with you? He looked at me in the eyes and said, Tim, imagine if I was to write you a check for $1 million right now. Would you want it? What do you think I said to that? I was like, yeah. I'm sure you'll be like, yeah, as well. And he said, however, Tim, but the only catch is you're going to end your life today. Would you still want it? The answer is, of course, no. This clearly shows you value whatever time you got left more than money. Yes or no? And yet the reality is that majority of us are more focused on trying to save money than trying to save time. How many of you agree? You think about it, in this game called life, money is infinite. Time is finite. What's the most important thing in this game called life? It's not money. It's time. So this is why wise individuals invest in the shortcut. A system, write this down, is a shortcut. What allowed me to break free of my limits is I had to follow the right system. And if you're thinking, Tim, what is a system? I want to imagine, this is a metaphor. You've arrived in a foreign land for your dream vacation. You hit the road, making your way to the beautiful seaside cottage you rented out. But there's a problem. You don't have a map, and you begin to get lost. To make matters worse, you have no way of contacting your friend. Trying to break free out of your limits and unlock your full potential is a lot like driving through the unknown. How many of you are getting this? You need the right map. And this is why following the right system is so important. This is why I began to realize the more I studied self-mastery, the world's 1%, they all followed the right system from their mentors. How many of you have heard of Warren Buffett, one of the legendary investors? His quote changed my life, and he followed the system, by the way. He said that investing in yourself is the best thing you can ever do. Anything that improves your own potential, nobody can tax it or take away from you. The dollar can become worth far less, and you can have all kinds of things happen. But if you've maximized your potential, you've got a tremendous asset that can return tenfold in your life and career. When I heard this, how you've got to invest in yourself, I'll be honest, I felt a little bit afraid. Because how many of you kind of like me? I spent a huge chunk of my life looking after and caring about others versus myself. I find it easy to literally circulate money for other people, but never to me. How many of you was kind of insecure growing up, kind of like me? For the first time ever, I decided to put myself first. That's what I began to do. And anytime I said this is too expensive, I remembered Oprah Winfrey's quote. She said, you never complain about the price of the shovel when you're digging for gold. Have you realized you are the most valuable treasure there is in this game called life? We needed to hear that. I needed to hear that. I began to listen to that. I began to truly dig deep into my potential and finally thought to myself, I'm worth it. I deserve a good life. I deserve it. You see, if you truly want to change your life, you've got to give up this idea of just trying something, dabbling. You've got to commit to mastery. What's the key word, by the way? Mastery. That means not just dabbling by just watching some pretty videos or reading a book every once in a while. You've got to follow a proven step-by-step system to finally breaking free. But do you really think your over-anxious little voice wants you to break free right now? Of course not. And this is why you're going to hear these voices. I mean, you can hear it right now. I'm too busy to invest in myself. I can't afford it. I'm not quite ready yet. I'll try this next year. I'm too old. I'm too young. Maybe it's not for me. How many of you are hearing this? This is the survival brain rising up, trying to prevent you from change again. Understand that. This voice is so slick. It will tell you anything. Create any story. Do anything it can to talk you out of changing your life. So the key to waking yourself up right now is another thought. And have a choice. You do. You know how you can break free today? By saying to yourself, I have a choice. Every choice you're going to make right now is going to put you on the path. So before you put yourself on the path, ask yourself not, can I afford it? But ask yourself, does this path allow me to honor who I want to be? Does this path allow me to break free? I'm either getting this. Am I going to evolve? Am I going to like who I become at the end of it all? Right? Because the many roads we're going to take in our life is part of a bigger route that unavoidably will end in our grave. So let's not die without embracing the daring adventure life was meant to be. Are you getting it? Was that pretty powerful, by the way? We're about to go really deep. I'm about to give you the summary ebook, alongside that a group coaching session so we can delve deeper. But here's what we covered so far. Write this down. Secret 1, to create a radical shift in your life. Stop conscious limiting beliefs that's holding you back right now. Secret 2, write this down or take a screenshot. You can't get to abundance. You got to come from it by getting comfortable with letting go and being more open to opportunities that can change your life. If you're getting this, say yes. And lastly, secret 3, your survival brain is very slick. It'll tell you anything it has to create any story to prevent you from experiencing changes. So to change your life, you've got to allow yourself to make new decisions that honors your potential today. Have you enjoyed what we covered so far? Now, although what we've gone through is great, it will only take you a part way to breaking free of your limits once and for all, since you still need access to a proven system that will allow you to finally let go of your old identity and eradicate your limiting beliefs permanently. So I'd love to give you a choice right now. You can either go at it alone and spend countless amount of years and tens of thousands of dollars in trying to figure everything out by yourself, or I can literally offer you a shortcut right now so you can rapidly overcome your problems and create the life you truly deserve. Would you like some further help from me? If so, say yes in the chat box below, because I'll only share this further help with your permission. Brock says yes. I can see Athena, Kurt, Phoenix saying yes, Jackie, Doris, Carmen saying yes. I can see a lot of you saying yes. Whereas with great honor and privilege, I present to you the chance to join our flagship system called a Life Mastery Achievers course, which is the most powerful and proven system for eliminating your limiting beliefs and unlocking your full potential, experienced in a way that's easier, faster, and more enjoyable than you ever thought possible. Because this is the complete proven fast-track system. In fact, over 12 years of groundbreaking research in psychology, neuroscience, and human behavior are distilled into this 6-week online LMA course that's unlike anything you've ever gone through before. You'll easily break free from your deeply rooted limitations, unlocking your full potential. That means you can wave goodbye to endless more expenses on therapists, books, self-help courses, as the LMA is your all-in-one system for lasting changes. If you're getting this, say yes. And with LMA, you're never alone, as you'll gain instant access today, right now, to a world-class online support group, so you can stay motivated and on track, ensuring you always move forwards without falling behind. Can I share with you what makes the LMA system different from everything else out there? If that's fine, just say yes in the chat. The LMA system is a revolutionary fusion of the most effective and proven transformation modalities on the planet. From the life-changing insights of cognitive psychology and behavior change to the latest mechanics of human behavior and the most empowering teachers of personal growth, this is the best of the best condensed down into one simple system that you can easily implement in your life. So you can break free from the chains of your self-sabotage and limitations, unlocking the immense potential within you. In fact, in just 6 weeks, you'll rapidly transform your health, your relationships, your finances, your psychology, and your level of consciousness in permanent and measurable ways so you can reclaim the world-class life you deserve. How many are ready? If so, say yes. Can I share with you the secrets you'll discover on board LMA? Write this down, by the way. Write this down. What you discover is how to permanently break free from your limitations. This means you'll dissolve your toxic limiting beliefs even if you don't know what they are. You'll dissolve procrastination and self-sabotage that has been stealing your time, your income, and your dreams. You'll also discover how to heal from your past, meaning you can move beyond your painful memories so you can open the door quickly, with clarity, with purpose. You will crystallize your vision that's meant for you. You will feel more happy, more joyous, more alive than ever before. And also, how many of you want to get more done without burnout? You discover the secrets to master your time, master your energy. That way, chronic fatigue is a thing of the past. That way, burnout no longer occurs. You just got relentless amount of action towards that implementation. You'll also discover how to unlock the financial freedom you deserve in this lifetime. You'll break free from the financial fears that's poisoning you right now. You'll break free from the scarcity mindset, instill powerful positive beliefs about money, and pave the way for financial success and abundance. And lastly, you'll foster fulfilling relationships and worthiness. How many of you, in all seriousness, want better relationships with yourself, feeling good enough, and with others as well? The LMA course is one of the highest rated transformative experiences out there. We've got graduates verified in over 59 countries who've benefited from this method. One of which, this woman here who decided to join LMA because she was self-sabotaging herself in terms of her dreams. As a result of her rising above her unworthiness and procrastination, she began to attract new opportunities, such as being able to sing in front of Tom Jones and will.i.am, A-list celebrities to name a few. This is Hachi, who joined LMA because he was experiencing imposter syndrome. He had this huge promotion, but he began to self-sabotage himself. He was procrastinating, feeling lazy, feeling like he's not good enough. As a result of LMA helping him to grow, his company, real estate company, began to grow. They began to attract new opportunities, such as being to collaborate with Lamborghini. Any of you ever heard of Lamborghini? And he runs one of the largest real estate companies right now. This is Don, who just joined because he wanted to break free of his self-discipline issue, laziness, unworthiness, and really just wanted to overcome his past issues. As a result of LMA, transformed his health. This is Kenny, who joined because she wanted to overcome her past hurts. As a result of LMA, she updated us that she's now found the one. Isn't that beautiful news, by the way? This is Marisol and Gabrielle, whose mother and daughter, after the death of their loved one, they were left in shatters. As a result of LMA helping them to heal past their traumas, they're today living and truly, truly living. Isn't that beautiful? Who this works for is you busy professionals. This works for you entrepreneurs. This works for you teachers and coaches. We also attract a lot of psychologists and therapists wanting practical insights to share with their clients. This works for you parents and retirees, and this works for you if you're serious about finally breaking free. If that sounds like you, say yes. You will transform more in 6 weeks than most people in 6 years. And at the end of this journey, we'll be fully certifying you. Are you excited, by the way? So imagine this, when you're holding this in your hand, you'll be so proud of yourself. Because by this point, you'll be able to wave goodbye to what's been costing you so much money, so much time, so much opportunity into your life. How many of you are getting this episode? This is a student, and she said after 15 years in therapy, life coaching sessions, and self-education, this 6-week LMA course has taught me more about myself, my behaviors, traumas, and beliefs than the past 15 years on my self-development journey. 15 years. When I asked her, how much did you circulate for therapy every single year? This is what she calculated. She posted this in our Facebook group. Write this down. $132,860. Right? And LMA finally helped her to wave goodbye to all of these expenses. How many of you are ready? If so, say yes, because the LMA doesn't take you 15 years. It's literally a fraction of that. At the same time, it doesn't cost you another $100,000. Can I share with you everything that's included as part of the LMA system? And since you're a masterclass attendee, you do qualify for a bonus and an extra discount that does expire today. Can I share with you firstly though what's included today? And you can take plenty of notes, that way you're ready. Are you fired up? Are you ready? Yes. Here's the first thing that's included. It's the LMA system. You get 1 year access to this methodology you require to finally break free and discover your true self. Alongside that, you're about to gain access to our private online network support group. Now, this is important because you never want to feel alone. These students are from your country, your city. Students from over 59 countries are in this group, regularly connecting and supporting each other. How many of you want to feel more supported in your life, less lonely? Also, you're going to gain access to unstoppable mindset daily ritual system. That way you can rewire your brain, your body on a cellular level. And I'm also going to gift you, this is special for you busy people, the LMA cheat sheets. Now this is incredibly special because one cheat sheet, which is a summary of the LMA course, can be consumed within minutes, meaning you can complete this course within minutes. How many of you love the sound of that? This is the cheat sheet for busy people. And lastly, we've got the live LMA virtual event ticket as well. For those of you who love live experiences, every now and then we do run this course live online, and we'll invite you to join us, right? How many of you excited? Yeah? So the total value is $7,747, which is still a fraction of the $100,000 worth of therapy that perhaps you have to go through. However, like I said, you're eligible for further discount. Just before I share with you the discount, can I ask you this honest question and you answer honestly for me in the chat? I want to imagine you was to invest right now. If all this did was to help you to identify the deep-rooted beliefs that are holding you back and help you to finally eliminate them so you can make more money, enhance your relationship, and tap into high levels of happiness and mental well-being, would it be worth investing in you today? Yes or no? If all this did was to help you to eliminate 200, 300, 400 hours a year losing right now due to procrastination, stress, and self-sabotage, so you can be more present, powerful, and productive in your life, would it be worth it? You bet. If all this did was to help you to safeguard your future so you can not just survive in a world filled with uncertainty, but truly thrive no matter what, would it be worth it? Be honest. Yes or no? So you can see why it's a great investment in you. Yes or no, by the way. So I had two choices when I was putting this together for you. First option was to go as cheap as possible, but then you get mediocre results due to an incomplete system, accountability, and support. Second option, slightly high investment, but that enables me to provide you with a complete, proven fast-track system, all in one, accountability and the support to guarantee your transformation. And that's what I decided to go with. Because in other words, I didn't ask how cheap can I make it for you. I figured out how can I give you the best solution for the greatest deal. Does that sound fair enough, by the way? So can I share with you the bonuses, the free gifts, as well as the discount you're eligible for today when you enroll? Would that be pretty cool? So the investment for the LMA course is just $2,497. And when you invest in LMA today, you'll get the 12 months online support with us for free. That way you're motivated. And you'll also get the unstoppable mindset daily ritual system so you can rewire your brain and body for free. You get the LMA cheat sheets that you can go for LMA rapidly for free. And you'll also be able to join the live version of LMA. Anytime we're posting it, we'll invite you for free for just $2,497. I understand that this is a serious investment, but it's a serious solution you're wanting and requiring in your life right now. It's your life after all. Isn't that true, by the way? However, since I really love to over-deliver, I would love to go a step further and reward you for being an action taker. Can I share with you something crazy, and you'll call me crazy in a moment? When you enroll today, here's what I'm willing to do. Since you've made it to the end of this masterclass, and since you're clearly committed to changing yourself, and this is the only reason why you're listening to me right now, I'm going to actually do this. Out of my own pocket, I'm going to gift you $1,500 off. You've heard me right. The entire tuition for the LMA. Meaning you can join for just $997 or $249 on the 6-month plan starting today. I know you're probably thinking, Tim, this is crazy, but I want to offer you this chance. When you take this step forward and you do it today, I want to reward you. But please note, this is just for today since we've got to be fair on other students that have enrolled in the full amount. How can you claim this right now and not lose out? Go to www.lmacourse.com. And if you're wondering, Tim, are these free gifts still included even though it's discounted? Yes. Everything will be included for free. Now, in addition, here's what we're about to do. We're going to protect you fully with a 30-day money-back guarantee. What does this mean? You can try it for 30 days. Literally. Unconditional money-back guarantee. And if you're not over the moon, even after you register, like even if it's 60 seconds after, if you change your mind, just email us, support@success.com, and we'll literally refund you straight away. So what does this mean? You don't have to decide right now. You don't have to say yes. All you have to say is maybe. Say maybe in the chat box below. Listen, the only way to find out is to give it a try, right? It's kind of like test driving a car. You're going to test drive it before deciding if it's ready for you. So make the decision later. Go to www.lmacourse.com, secure the lowest discounted rate for LMA. That way you don't lose out. That way you don't regret it afterwards once the price has gone back up. And that way you're also protected by the 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Is that fair enough, by the way? Now, why can we offer this? It's because we've got more success stories than any other transformational education out there in the market right now. This is why we can offer you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee, because this is how much we know it will work for you. But don't even listen to a word out of my mouth. See how well it works for you. Make the decision later. You're fully protected. Go to lmacourse.com and you can secure the discount right now. So let's just quickly discuss the investment just before we pull this down in a moment. There are two ways to get started right now. It's either 997 or 249 since it's being discounted on this call today. Now, just so you're aware, to help you understand what sort of deal this really is, let me break it down to you logically. Unlike other things you can buy nowadays, how long do you think what you discover and experience in the LMA course will be valuable to you in your life? How long? Just be honest. 1, 5 years, 10 years, 20